Hi everybody, it's Shanna with Shanna Sweets. Thank you for joining me here at the beginning of September. It is actually September 5th. Sorry I'm getting around late this month with my sweet treat. Had to work for the last few days and I couldn't get to doing this. But the good news of waiting till today is the launch of the new holiday catalog. Yay! So you can officially order from it today, and I can officially show you the inside, which means I can show you the stamp set that I am offering for this month's sweet treat. I am using the stamp set from the new holiday catalog. This stamp set is called Country Home, and it is part of the Country Lane suite. I am using a couple items from this suite. So a suite is like when they center a bunch of products around that stamp set. So the stamp set, I'm not actually using any of the papers, although they're gorgeous. I am using the chicken wire, and I'm using the braided trim. There is an embossing folder, which I don't actually happen to have yet. But one of the stamp sets looks like the embossing folder, kind of, sort of. We are going to use that. There's some clips. There's a whole bunch of new blended alcohol blends in this. I think there's like 6 combos, and we are going to use some of those. There's some galvanized paper. I didn't happen to get that yet. I'm going to have to get that on my next order. So that is all from this Country Lane. And here's some examples. Oops, sorry, trying to get it in here. Of the cards that they made using this set. Isn't that gorgeous? This paper is gorgeous too. So the one nice thing about this is it's supposed to be like a fall. You can use this all year round. It does say simply thankful for all the good things. I think that sentiment can be used all the time. Happy harvest blessings. You could just take the harvest out and put happy blessings if you wanted. So grateful for someone like you in my life. I mean, I think you can use that all year round. Hello, thanks, love, and joy. Those things. So this sentiment is worked all year round. You don't have to use it just for the fall. So these are the 2 cards that I've made for my sweet treat. And if you are new to me, I'm trying to make sure you can see both of them. My sweet treat is you get this packet. This is how it comes. If you're in my class and you order $25 worth of products by taking a class with me, then you get it with your products. If you order from me online, I will mail this to you. This is actually a mailable envelope. So you get the instruction sheet and all the paper products to make this. Now, if you order this set, you can make this verbatim and make it just like I've given the instructions. Of course, a lot of times, depending on what I've made, you can interchange with a stamp of your choice on the paper that I've given you, you know, and tweak it for yourself. But I am giving you this. I think this is lovely, and I think you, like I said, you could use this stamp set for anything. So again, $25 using my host code for the month, which is listed on my blog and in this video description. Now, I do give out on my blog, there is also a monthly blog giveaway. So every time you make a comment on my blog, you will be entered for that giveaway for the month, which the winner for last month is going to be Beth. So she won the embossing mats for August. The giveaway for September is going to be the new set of watering color pencils that were only available in August. I did buy an extra set, and that's what the September giveaway will be. So you want to make sure that you watch my blog throughout the month. Sometimes there's a video involved, sometimes there's not. So you want to be able to subscribe to both my blog and my videos, just in case. The videos usually are listed on the blog if you happen to only be on the blog. So let's get down to these cards. Again, we're going to use this stamp set, so I'm going to set that aside. Let me set the cards aside here. Let's start with the gray one. I'm going to go ahead and fold 8.5 by 5.5. This is basic gray. And then I'm using the gray granite, which is one of the new colors from the annual catalog. And like I said, there's a little stamp in the stamp set that looks like a little tile piece. And I'm using the gray granite ink pad. Just inking it up. And I kind of angled my paper here. And you know, if you want a ruler or something to make sure you're precise, you can. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I kind of went at an angle. And then I just lined them up. I need to lower my camera a little bit here, but I'm going to try to lower this. There we go. So that piece, I'm going to go ahead while I got my ink out, and I'm going to stamp my, I'm going to go ahead and use the Happy Harvest. And I'm going to stamp that in the middle of my banner. So that way I can put, it helps with these, since if you push them in all the way, to go ahead and push it out just a little bit, so that way you have room to grab it and not get your fingers all inky. And then, so I'm giving to you this in without the banner part, so I'm just going to cut into the middle and make my own little banner piece. Now, so I was giving, well, I thought I had 3 pieces of twine. Apparently I lost my 3rd piece. Well, that's okay, I guess. We'll just cut another piece. So this is braided twine. This is out of the new catalog. I believe you get 10 yards. Yep, 10 yards. The one nice thing about this twine, and I want to show you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it across my banner first, because I don't want to waste my time with pulling apart parts that I don't need, right? This tape is too wide by itself, so I'm going to cut some of it off. Of course, the tape's stuck to my finger. Really, I can't get it off my finger. So I'm going to take and attach that in the middle. Now, I want the part that's sticking out right here to be wider. So you can pull this apart. that. And so that is going to go at the bottom. So I'm going to grab a couple pieces of tape. I'm going to go ahead and place this at the bottom, wrap it around. And I want it to be that loosey-goosey, so and I have some black Memento here. You know what, I guess I should have used a dimensional. Could have put the dimensional on there first, but that's okay. It'll slide right on top of it. There we go. I'm going to take my black Memento and I'm going to use the milk can, and it fits exactly on this circle, like the circle was made for it. Boom. And then I'm using the smoky gray. I'm going to use both the dark and the light. So I color in the light first. And I am using the thick Whisper White. You can use the regular Whisper White, but it does bleed through. I mean, it bleeds through on the thick, let alone the light. And then I'm going to take my thick one. And I'm going to add, I want it darker on the bottom, of course, and I kind of want darker on this rims and my handles. Now, I kind of take my light one and I kind of want the side to be a little darker. Because I kind of want that part. You can take, if you want, the color lifter and blend and that'll give you a little bit in the middle. It gives you a watery sort of look. I like that speckly. I like the speckly look to the can. It ages it. See how it ages? I don't know if you can see that. Does it show up? You see how it ages the can? I really like that. So you can use the little circle if you want to stamp in your can. I'm not going to. Now, I've taken, this is the chicken wire here. You get 6, and they're big and long. I've taken and I've cut it in half. So I just folded it and cut it in half. You'll get half a sheet of the chicken wire. And kind of just position it where you want it. I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to put me some tape, and then I'm going to put my circle on top of, I want the pearlized, I want the shiny side. So these are shiny on one side and not on the other. I'm going to put me some more tape because I want tape on that. Of course, I just ran out. Now, I'm going to figure out where I want all this to be on here. because I want my chicken wire to stay down good. So I'm going to take my fine tip glue pen. I'm going to add glue to my chicken wire. Right now I'm going to do it on the back of my doily because I don't care if my glue is overlapping, of course, on the back of my white card, because now I care. I'm going to take and just put little dabs of glue in the corners of the edges here. So that my chicken wire will stay down. Okay. And now I'm going to put that down on my paper. Just like that. Now I'm going to put my glue thing back on because you know this thing will clog very quickly if you don't keep it. Okay. Let me grab it on the tape. This is going to go on my now. I'm going to use my Wink of Stella because I want a shiny
cans. I want a shiny can.
and there you go. That card is done. Just like that. Number 1. Now we're going to do number 2. So number 2 is using the Mossy Meadow. Same card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Just fold it in half like that. Now this time we are taking a piece of vellum. This vellum is actually 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, but I have scored 1/4 inch here. Now, before we get started, we're going to take our piece of braided. This is striped braided trim. Again, you're going to get 10 yards. Excuse me. The reason I want to put this down first, so I'm going to take my tape. Actually, I think I'm going to take a piece of sticky trim tape. I don't know, that just does not feel like it's very sticky. So let's take some tearaway tape and use that instead. Sorry, it just does not feel like it's going to, I know I did that before because I had it out, but it does not feel like it's going to hold. We have a new tool. It says take your pick. It has a putty and then a poker, and then you get another tool that has scoring on it, and then this end has putty that comes out, and you can pick up your sequins, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And so this putty part you can use to take off your well, I was going to say use it to, but it's wanting to take off my the actual tape. I don't want my tape, I just want the there we go. Just want, I'm going to leave the lid off because I'm actually going to use that. Alright, so I want the score on the left hand side, and I'm going to put the ribbon right here at the bottom. The reason for that is because we are going to And I'm going to use StazOn ink this time because I get a crisper image on this vellum. So I'm going to stamp my canister. You have to be very careful though when using the polymer with StazOn because it does not come off very easy. Likely it's going to stain my stamp, which I don't really care about, but I'm going to wash it. The StazOn cleaner can damage your polymer stamps, so I just use some soap and water. Or use the StazOn cleaner on like on a cloth to clean it with, and not directly on the stamp. And then I'm going to take my image here and then I'm going to stamp it right above that. Okay. Now, this needs to dry completely, so you either need to take a heat tool to it very gingerly, so don't put the heat tool and burn it, okay? So I let mine set overnight because I was having to go to work. I did this before I went to work over my last few days. I've got my Memento out, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Memento on these other two parts that I need to stamp. So we're going to go ahead while we're stamping here, and we're going to stamp our This piece that I'm giving you for this is way big, but I didn't want to give you a little tiny piece that would get lost. So that's why. This is going to become a banner. And this is going to get cut out. And I'm actually going to cut this on the line. This line is really thick, so it doesn't hurt to cut part of it off, because I really don't need that thick of a black line. And in all actuality, I'm going to take one of my black Stampin' Write markers, take the marker edge and edge this so that you have a nice clean black edge that's going to be showing, and let's put those two things right there so we don't lose them, okay? Now, I have one that I stamped extra so that it would be nice and dry. We're going to take this, and I've got my Stampin' Write markers here, and what I did is I used the light Real Red. I want you to flip it over and color on the back side, so that way your marker doesn't blend, because if you were to color on top of that StazOn, it would blend. But this, you can use the Memento on the vellum, but it's not as crisp and it's not as dark. The blends do have a little bit more streaky look on the vellum, so just be aware of that. You don't get quite the blended look that you get on the Whisper White. I'm taking the Cherry Cobbler and I'm doing these little red, I don't know what they are. Honestly, I don't know what any of these plants are. That's not my thing. I'm using ivory for and the nice thing is if you go over the edges, it's no big deal because it just kind of gives it a water look, which I kind of like. So I'm kind of purposely going a little bit over. And this one, thought I had using the light rich raspberry, like the flatter. So I have both the light and the rich raspberry because I feel like this one I can go ahead and put a little bit of dark kind of in here in the crevices and just give it a little bit of texture. And then I'm using the old olive for this artichoke looking thing. It looks like I missed one flower here. This really does color up really nicely. If you let that dry, then you can add another layer of red down here. So it doesn't take much to color it. And then when you're done, go ahead and fold along the score line. And I've got Very Vanilla, and I've run it through this garden trellis. You can see here, this is the garden trellis embossing folder. And if you haven't seen my videos with the embossing folders, you just put it on the plate or on this this part, and then you get cutting plate, embossing folder, paper, and another plate, and it runs through your Big Shot that way. Turn that over. So I'm going to put the rough side, so you have a debossed and a rough, the rough part. The rough part is going to go towards that, and then I'm just going to take some tape. Little piece of tape there. Now it can go down there. Now, so what I want to do is I'm going to put a dimensional. I'm going to put dimensionals behind my banner. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut this dimensional is going on my can. It says thanks. These dimensionals are going up here. that. So then what I decided, because you can either leave this to where it's open, if you like this, you know, open like that. If you want to leave it open, then I would recommend putting some glue dots on that little part there, if that's what you're going to do. But I didn't want mine flopping around like that. So what I did is I opened this up and then I put glue dots where you have this banner. Because you're not going to see the glue dots. And like this part here where your thanks sign is at, and down here where your trim is at. Okay, because all these spots of your vellum is covered up. So you're not going to see any so now you just have your front like that. Okay, so there we go. That is the sweet treats for September. Don't forget, when you buy $25 product from me using the host code, you get this package, sweet treats. And I appreciate you hanging with me for this card tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging with me, and look forward to seeing you all month. Thank you.